Hey folks, Vortex here and welcome to my review of the Truthear Pure, which is the successor to the Hexa, which was very popular. And I think the price for this is still under £100, so which is pretty cool. And it's still the same driver count, as you can see, 3 balanced armatures, 1 dynamic, as it says there as well. Obviously you should have a different tuning. Not my kind of artwork, but it is what it is. Yeah, anyway, full disclaimers, I'd like to thank Shenzhen Audio Store for sending this out to me, so thank you very much. I was not paid to this video and all thoughts and opinions are my own, and yeah, I'm quite curious to see what the tuning, the difference is basically. And yeah, as you can see, not tried it yet, still sealed, so yeah, see next clip. Yeah, so let's have a look what you get. I think the packaging is roughly the same size as the previous model, like I said there. 3BA 1DD. It's got a funny reflective finish. Yeah, 3D printed. I think is it their Hay Gears. So they've done a lot of stuff like this. There's a graph which uses those couplers. Obviously, I measure it on my own to see what it's like anyway. So as you can see, LCP driver. Yeah. So this typically uses. There's no Knolls or Sony BAs, so it's obviously don't expect that kind of level of driver. But then again, it's not that kind of price either. Again, it probably won't be that different, I don't think, from the Hexas. It's the same kind of ballpark. So Pure, designed and developed and made by Truthear. Well, we had to get this out. Yeah, bit of a pain. So I'll pause the video here and I'll be back when I've opened it. So seems to be a bit tricky. So this is the tolerances. So yeah, I'll be back in a sec. That's it. Took a little bit of work for it to get out. Let's have a look. So a bit of paperwork. I'll have a look in there if there's anything else. Yeah, there's something in there, so I'll check that in a bit. So yeah, shape looks very similar to the Hexas, Truthear. Again, you can see the bores, so it's quite cool. I like you can see that. Again, I like there's no BA or BAs in the nozzle, which is cool. Can't really see much in there. Nothing underneath there. A load of tips, as you can see. Check those in a bit. Cable. Now, to be honest, I forgot what cable came with the Hexa. So this one looks fine, really. Straight 3.5. Any colours? Any L or R? Can't really see any. I'll have a closer look in a bit. But yeah, cable looks pretty cool. See what's in here. Oh, that's it. Bounty card. Whoever that is. And yeah, owner's manual, which will be kind of common sense in it there. So I've know what these are like. Hopefully they're not too spicy or the complete opposite. So yeah, anyway, I spent some time with these. See what these let's get these out. I'll end up going one of these. These look quite wide, the actual tip, and obviously 2 foams. Quite slow to expand. Anyway, yeah, see you next clip. Yes, so welcome to my review section of the Truthear Pure. So in a bit I'll talk about my kind of thoughts and opinions against the actual Hexa model, but get to that in a bit. Anyway, so this is what it looks like with the cable. This cable seems pretty good. I think I've seen it before, but it seems absolutely fine. Again, this model is under £100. So that's what it looks like. So Y split. A little bit of branding on there. Chin sliders there, if that matters to you. And also this is what it looks like. The shape of these seem to be the same as the original. I still do have the Hexas, but I don't know where they are. It's been quite a while, but the shape seems to be the same, and that's what they look like fitted. And yeah, comfort seems okay. It's the same as the last model. Obviously, it's been a couple of years. I think 2 years, maybe a bit more since the Hexa. So anyway, this is what they look like. You can see through the drivers, you can see the balls where the sound goes through. You can see it does show fingerprint grease, as you can see here, but it is what it is. That's what we like. Take that off. Tips are very secure, and that's it. So it's a better look right there. And yes, power and sensitivity in this set I thought was actually quite easy. Again, my whole testing was done with the topping, my usual topping combo, the E30 and the L30 Mark II. No issue at all. It seemed easy to power really. I didn't think this seemed that fussy. And yeah, so resolution on this set seems good. I don't think it's the same as the Hexas, but I'll get to all that in a bit. But it seems good enough. Again, this is under £100, but it's like, I think it's at least 90. I think I'd have to double check, but it's in that kind of ballpark really. Timbre on this set is actually pretty good really. I think better than the Hexas. That sounded kind of a bit thin, and this doesn't. It doesn't have the ear gain either. It's a bit smoother there, but we'll talk about all that more in a bit. Yes, soundstage is okay, and imaging seems pretty good. To be honest, these are quite an uneventful set. They're quite a safe set, but yeah. So fitment wise, like I said, it's the same as the seems to be the same as the Hexas. Again, it's been a while since I tried them, so I apologise if they have changed it, but it's been quite a while. Obviously, that's what it looks like. Yeah, these aren't tuned how I expected them. As in, these aren't tuned kind of how a Chinese product normally is. They're more upper mid-range, lower treble kind of tuning. These don't really have that as much. But anyway, so yeah, kind of a bit of a different set. But here's the graph, and I'll put the Hexa on so you can have a look. So straight away, compared to the Hexas, it's less warmer and it has more upper mid-range, lower treble. Now the Pure is more warmer tuning, slightly muddy, like slightly muddy tuning to the low end, and then it's more sub-bass kind of oriented tuning. Now for electronic, this seems to work actually quite well really. They're very easy to listen to because they are smoother in the upper mid-range, lower treble. Now I think for some folks they might prefer the Hexa because there's a bit more going on there, and it does seem to lack, according to my pair anyway, it doesn't have the as much upper treble extension or gain as the Hexas. You can see blue and green on this graph. So the Hexas are thinner, brighter tuning, but more detailed further up. But these are smoother tuning everywhere, a little bit warmer, bits more suited for what I want, and a little bit less ear gain in the lower treble, as you can see, about 3k ish. I personally prefer this tuning over the Hexa, but it's kind of like but the Hexa is probably more typical Chinese tuning because the upper mid-range, lower treble, so vocals are a bit more forward. I found vocals on this set actually quite smooth. Some folks might want more boost there. I don't. I like this. I do prefer though the upper treble of the Hexa because there's a bit more going on there. You do lack a little bit of detail with this Pure variant really. But yeah, so the Pure, it's a warmer tuning, more sub-bass orientated, a little bit muddy, like a little bit. It's not too bad compared to some other, but slightly then it does, that warmth does veil some of the detail that you probably want in the mid-range. Vocal wise, smooth is probably a good word to use it. I had no issues at all. You can use this for ages, but also it's dangerous because you want to turn it up more, which obviously you have to be wary of your hearing. Treble wise, again quite safe. The pinners a bit further up, instead of 2k ish where typically can be on Chinese, you're up to 3k, so it's not fatiguing. It's not really that boosted, and past that it does just slowly roll off. So a bit different to the Hexa model. It's, you know, if you didn't see graphs overlaid, you'd think it looks quite similar. But yeah, definitely a warmer tuning. And yeah, so conclusion, kind of short release. I like this set. But if you like the Hexa's tuning, you probably might not like this. They are side grades of one another in my opinion. So I actually now have both. So they're not, the target is a bit different. I prefer this pure tuning because simply it's a bit more exciting with the low end and a bit smoother to listen to. As you know me, I prefer a smoother tuning, especially I like shouty upper mid range, lower treble, and this doesn't have that. So I found these easy to listen to, and it's easy to turn the volume up. So you have to be careful of that kind of region. The only thing I don't like with this set is again it lacks that upper treble past 10k. I think compared to the original Hexas. I don't know how. I don't know if they use the same drivers. It's the same driver count. But yeah, for my opinion, I prefer this newer version here. I think a lot of folks may prefer the older version. But yeah, it's not a jack of all trades product. Like I think for classical, jazz, orchestral, you probably want a bit more treble, I think, because I think it lacks a little bit on this model. But that's not my preference. I typically like electronic music, and this seems to work quite well. Maybe you want a little bit more mid bass, around 200 hertz ish, which this doesn't have. I think that's it. So I like this set. It's a bit different. I think a few folks won't like this set, and I think that's it. So yeah, if you think you missed anything or want to know more, let me know in the comments as per usual. Thanks for watching. Take care, and yeah, see you soon.